Just how important is protein for weight loss? Hi, I'm Wright, an accredited nutritionist, and I specialize in helping people across the world achieve their goals without those silly fad diets. Today, I'm going to talk to you about protein. Now, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when I say the word protein? The word protein has become synonymous with muscle size, strength, and bodybuilding. But protein isn't just for mass monsters. In fact, protein is arguably the most important nutrient for weight loss. What is protein? Before we dive headfirst into the role of protein in diet and weight loss, it's crucial that we first understand what protein actually is. Take a moment and look down at your hands. That's protein. Now the fingernails, that's protein too. And what about the hair on the back of your hand? Guess what? That's protein. Protein is the primary and predominant structural component of our body. It's the bulk of the building materials which make up our skin, hair, muscle, and organs. You see, we're essentially like an organic Lego set created from all manner of much smaller Lego sets. A protein itself is made up of individual bricks called amino acids. When we eat protein, our body will digest that food and break down the protein nutrients into these amino acids. These are then transported around the body and used to create new structures and, in some cases, are even converted to produce energy. This is where the association between protein and building muscle originates from, and rightly so. We need protein to create new muscle proteins. When we exercise, particularly when we perform resistance exercise like weight training, we damage our muscle and cause micro tears. While this sounds like a bad thing, it's an actual necessity for growth and adaptation. Our body uses the protein we ingest through food to repair and develop the damaged muscle, which, over time, can result in some significant gains in muscle mass. But protein is incredibly versatile, not just in how it's used, but how it impacts our body and mind when we eat a diet that's richer in it. You see, it's not just muscle that can help build. Protein can also play an incredibly important role in helping us to not just maintain our weight, but to lose it as well. Weight loss itself is, at its core, a numbers game. If the energy we burn exceeds the energy we consume through food, then we will lose weight. Countless studies have found higher protein diets and meals to be an extremely successful means of not just losing weight, but actually helping people to sustain that weight loss. No mean feat, let me tell you that. If you're wondering how much protein these studies are recommending, it's around the 1.4 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight mark. I'd also advise that you divide that up equally between 3 to 4 meals, aiming for around 20 to 30 grams per meal when possible. Now let's have a look at how protein actually helps with weight loss. Here are the scientifically backed mechanisms that make protein a must-have for weight loss. One of the most beneficial effects of a higher protein diet for helping us with weight loss is that it actually makes us feel fuller for longer. When we eat protein, it triggers a cascade of fullness hormones. Hormones are essentially chemical messengers which travel around our body and instruct processes to start, stop, change,
speed up,
or slow down.
These fullness hormones help with our satiety. Essentially, this is the feeling we get when we feel fed or gratified. If you feel more satiated, there will be less of an impulse to eat. The less of an impulse to eat, the less energy we will typically consume. It's simple, right? But there's another important point to mention when it comes to protein and feeling satiated, or at least not feeling hungry. Foods rich in protein take time to digest. Protein structures are complex and require our digestive system to put in work to free up all the nutrients for our body to absorb. This may sound like a bad thing, but it's actually really good for weight loss and weight management. Having a slower but steadier stream of nutrients, particularly carbohydrates, at least in the form of sugars, and amino acids flowing into our bloodstream helps to better regulate our energy levels. When our energy levels dip, we often reach for food as a quick pick-me-up. If you have that better sustained level of energy, you're far less likely to snack on foods or overeat throughout the day. Again, less food in means less energy in, which should then lead to weight loss. Numbers game. One of the other really interesting, at least if you're a bit of a nerd like me, ways in which protein supports weight loss and weight loss management is its respective thermic effect. Thermogenesis is essentially the amount of energy we expend metabolizing and making use of the foods that we eat. Because of its complexity, protein is the most thermogenic of the 3 major macronutrients. Protein provides roughly 4 calories of energy per gram ingested, but, and this is where you'll be really interested if you're a nerd, it actually costs around 1 calorie per gram of protein to break it down and to use it. That's a 25% calorie discount you're getting there, folks, which isn't too bad at all. Another point to make here, which is in the same sort of ballpark, is just how protein isn't really used as an energy source. You You see, our body really doesn't like using protein for energy because it has to convert it to be able to use it for energy, and it especially hates the thought of storing protein as body fat. To store it as body fat, it actually has to convert it twice over to do this, and your body basically just says, nah, I'm not doing that, and instead tends to increase your energy expenditure through heat production or moving around a little bit more. We alluded to protein and its role in muscle mass repair and development earlier, but one of the other wonderful benefits of protein is that it can also help preserve muscle mass. Now, you may be thinking, that doesn't sound all that great, but let me tell you, this is awesome. You see, muscle is really energetically demanding tissue. It's basically the equivalent of constantly having a tumble dryer running at all times. It burns through energy like nobody's business. So, if what we need to achieve weight loss and keep it off is expending more energy, and keeping the muscle that we do have, or adding to it, will be a major help. Get your protein in, people, and keep those muscles around. It's really important that you do when you're dieting, as this is the prime time, except if you were to stop training altogether, which is when muscle loss would actually occur. Also, don't be too restrictive with your diet, and don't ditch the resistance training either. Either of these is a surefire way to lose all of your hard-earned gains. Protein, I love it. I could talk about it all day. It's amazing for weight loss. Honestly, for all things body composition, it's an absolute must. It's a must to have a higher protein diet if this is your goal, or if performance is your goal, or even living longer. But yes, protein for weight loss. It's awesome. It helps you feel fuller for longer, burn more calories, and preserve more muscle. Don't skip on it. Get yourself at least 1.4 grams per kilogram of body weight per day, and do your best to space that out evenly every 3 to 4 hours. This is the one secret no one talks about when it comes to weight loss. I hope this helped. As always, if you have any more questions, let me know in the comments below, and remember to like and subscribe to the Myprotein YouTube channel for more great evidence-based nutrition information.